How is it possible for someone you hired to find the truth to become the biggest lie of your life? How is it possible for a man who should be following your spouse to fall in love with her? And how is it possible for those two people to conspire together to convict you of a murder you didn't commit? I suspected my wife was cheating. Rachel, my beautiful wife, with her fake smile, with her endless excuses. I have to work late tonight. I'm out with friends. My phone died. Every night a new lie. Until I couldn't take it anymore, and I hired a private investigator, Marcus Dean, the best PI in the city, 20 years experience, 100% success rate. I told him, I want to know who she's cheating with. I want proof. I want photos. And he said, I'll handle it professionally. Give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, he came to my office, but he had no photos, no proof, just a strange look, and said, Mr. Mitchell, I think you're wrong. Your wife isn't cheating. She's a good woman. And I laughed, said, then why is she out until 2 a.m. every night? And he, with a cold smile, said, maybe she's running from you. And he left, and I thought it was over, until a month later, when police came to my door, 5 a.m., handcuffed me, and said, you're under arrest for the murder of your colleague, Brian Thompson. Brian? The married man Rachel worked with? He was dead? And I was accused? And when I asked, what evidence do you have? One officer said, your fingerprints on the weapon, victim's blood on your clothes, and a witness who saw you there that night. Witness? Who? Marcus Dean, private investigator, says he was following you that night and saw you enter the victim's house. And I realized Marcus and Rachel were together, had fallen in love, and now they were sending me to prison for a murder I didn't commit, so they could be free, together. Baby, come close, because this story, honey, this one is about betrayal so twisted, so calculated, so evil, it changed everything I thought I knew about human nature. My name is Eve. I'm 58 years old now. But this story begins 3 years ago when I was 55, when I hired a man to catch my wife cheating. And he caught her, then joined her, then destroyed me. Let me start with Rachel. Rachel Mitchell, my wife of 12 years. Beautiful, successful, cold. We met at a corporate event. She was in marketing. I was in finance. We connected over expensive wine and complaints about our bosses. Dated for 2 years. Got married at City Hall. Small, simple, practical. The marriage was good at first. Not passionate, not romantic, but stable, comfortable. We both worked long hours, made good money, had a nice house, took nice vacations, did all the things successful couples do. But somewhere around year 8, things changed. Rachel changed. She started working late, every night, coming home at midnight, 1 a.m., sometimes 2 a.m. Big project, she'd say. Deadline approaching, client emergency, always an excuse. Always reasonable, always just believable enough that I didn't question it. Until I did. Because the excuses got sloppier, the lies got lazier, and my gut started screaming that something was wrong. I'd call her office. Rachel left hours ago, her assistant would say. I'd check her location on our shared phone app. She'd be at random addresses. Restaurants, hotels, apartments, meeting clients, she'd explain when I asked. Networking event, friend's place. But she wouldn't give me names, wouldn't give me details, would get defensive if I pushed. Why are you interrogating me? She'd snap. Don't you trust me? I wanted to trust her, wanted to believe her. But everything in me said she was lying. So I did what desperate husbands do. I hired a private investigator. Marcus Dean, that was his name. Found him online. 5-star reviews. Former cop turned PI. Specialized in infidelity cases. 20 years experience. Professional. Discreet. Expensive. I called him, made an appointment, met him at his office. Small, cluttered, smelled like coffee and cigarettes. Marcus was in his early 50s. Graying hair, hard eyes. The kind of man who'd seen everything and wasn't impressed by any of it. "Tell me about your wife," he said. I told him everything. The late nights, the excuses, the lies, the gut feeling that wouldn't go away. "You think she's cheating?" he asked. "I know she is," I said. "I just need proof, for the divorce. So she doesn't get half of everything when she's the one who broke our vows." He nodded. "I can do that." 2 weeks of surveillance, photos, videos, location tracking, full report, $10,000 retainer, $3,000 more if I find evidence of infidelity. "Done," I said. Paid him on the spot. He took Rachel's photo, her work address, her car description, her phone number. "I'll start tomorrow," he said. "You won't hear from me unless I find something. If I do, I'll call immediately." I left feeling relieved. Finally, answers. Proof. Validation that I wasn't crazy. I had no idea I'd just paid someone to fall in love with my wife and help her destroy me. 2 weeks went by. No call from Marcus. I assumed that was good. Meant he hadn't found anything yet. Meant Rachel was being careful. Then week 3. Still nothing. I called his office. Left a message. No response. Week 4. Finally got through. "Mr. Mitchell, I need to meet with you, tomorrow, your office, 3 p.m. He showed up exactly at 3. No photos, no folder, no evidence, just himself, and a weird expression I couldn't read. "So?" I said. "What did you find?" He sat down. Took a breath. "Mr. Mitchell, I've been following your wife for 4 weeks, and I have to tell you, I don't think she's cheating." I stared at him. "What?" "I followed her every night. To work, to dinners, to friends' houses, to the gym. Nowhere suspicious. No meetings with men, no hotels, no affairs." "That's impossible," I said. "She's lying to me constantly. She's out until 2 a.m. Where is she going?" "Therapy," he said. "She's been going to therapy, 3 nights a week. Evening sessions with a Dr. Patricia Reeves. Then she goes to a support group. For women in difficult marriages." I felt like I'd been punched. "She told you this?" "No," he said. "I followed her. Confirmed it. She's not cheating, Mr. Mitchell. She's trying to figure out if she wants to stay married to you? So you're saying this is my fault?" "I'm saying your wife isn't having an affair, which is what you hired me to find out. Case closed. I'll refund the success fee since there was no infidelity to prove." He stood up. Handed me a check. $3,000. Then he left. And I sat there feeling foolish. Ashamed. Wrong. Maybe I'd been paranoid. Maybe Rachel was just going through something and I'd made it worse by hiring a PI to follow her. I decided to talk to her. Apologize. Suggest couples therapy. Try to fix things. But I never got the chance. 1 month later, Brian Thompson was murdered. Brian worked with Rachel. Same company. Same department. They'd known each other for years. Friendly. Professional. Nothing more. Or so I thought. He was found dead in his apartment. Single gunshot to the chest. No forced entry. No witnesses. Estimated time of death, 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. I found out about it the next morning. Rachel came home crying. "Brian's dead. Someone killed him. The police are investigating." "Oh my God," I said. "Do they know who did it?" "Not yet," she said. "But they're interviewing everyone who knew him. I have to go talk to them this afternoon." "Do you need me to come with you?" "No," she said quickly. "I'll be fine. It's just routine questions." She left. Came back 3 hours later. Quiet. Distant. "How did it go?" I asked. "Fine. They asked where I was Tuesday night. I told them I was at therapy. They're verifying it." "Were you?" I asked. Couldn't help it. Old suspicions rising. She looked at me with cold eyes. "Yes, Eve. I was. You can call Dr. Reeves if you don't believe me." I didn't call. Didn't want to seem paranoid again. Tried to let it go. But something felt wrong. Something felt off. And 2 days later, The police came for me. 5 a.m. Loud banging on the door. I opened it half asleep. 4 officers, guns drawn. Serious faces. Eve Mitchell? Yes? You're under arrest for the murder of Brian Thompson. What? That's insane. I didn't kill anyone. They didn't care. Read me my rights. Cuffed me. Searched the house. Found Rachel in the bedroom, crying, acting shocked. They took me to the station. Put me in an interrogation room. Detective Harris and Detective Lopez. Why did you kill Brian Thompson? Harris asked. I didn't, I said. I barely knew him. Why would I kill him? Because he was sleeping with your wife, Lopez said. My stomach dropped. What? We have evidence, Harris continued. Text messages between Brian and Rachel. Romantic, sexual, going back months. Your wife was having an affair. And you found out. And you killed him. That's not true, I said. I had no idea. I mean, I suspected Rachel was cheating, but I didn't know with who. And I definitely didn't kill anyone. Where were you Tuesday night between 10 p.m. and midnight? Home, asleep, alone. Rachel was out. At therapy. Anyone who can confirm that? No, I was alone. They exchanged looks. We have your fingerprints on the murder weapon. A.38 revolver registered to you. I own a gun, yes, for protection. It's in my safe. I haven't used it in years. When's the last time you checked if it was there? I thought about it. I don't know. Months maybe? We checked your safe this morning, gun's gone. And it's the murder weapon. Then someone stole it. Someone broke into my house and stole my gun and killed Brian and tried to frame me. Or you killed him, Harris said. And we have a witness who saw you. What witness? Marcus Dean, private investigator. Says you hired him to follow your wife. Says he was surveilling her Tuesday night and saw you enter Brian Thompson's building at 10:45 p.m. My blood went cold. That's a lie. I wasn't there. Marcus is lying. Why would he lie? Lopez asked. I don't know, but I didn't kill Brian, I swear. I didn't even know about the affair. But you suspected, Harris said. You hired a PI. You were angry, jealous. You found out Brian was the guy. And you killed him. No, I said desperately. This is a setup. Someone is framing me. They didn't believe me. Charged me with murder. Set bail at $500,000. Called a public defender since I couldn't afford a lawyer after posting bail. Rachel bailed me out. With our joint savings. Said she believed me. Said she'd stand by me. But her eyes were cold. Empty. Like she was looking at a stranger, and that's when I knew. She was in on it. This was her plan. I got out on bail and immediately hired a real lawyer, not a public defender. A real criminal defense attorney. Cost me $50,000 up front. His name was David Park. Sharp, aggressive, experienced. I told him everything. About Rachel, about Marcus, about the setup. You think your wife and the PI framed you? He asked. I know they did, I said. Marcus lied. He said he saw me at Brian's building, but I wasn't there. And Rachel had an affair with Brian, then worked with Marcus to kill him and frame me. Why would they do that? To be together. To get rid of me and Brian. 2 birds, 1 stone. Brian's dead. I'm in prison. They're free. David nodded. It's possible. Difficult to prove. But possible. We need to investigate Marcus. Find proof he and Rachel are involved. Find proof he lied about seeing you. How? By doing what he does. Surveillance, investigation, finding the truth. He hired his own PI. Not Marcus, obviously. Someone else. Someone clean. Within 2 weeks, we had evidence. Photos of Marcus and Rachel together. Meeting at restaurants. His apartment? Her car parked outside overnight. They were having an affair. Started right after I hired him. He'd followed her. Approached her. Told her I'd hired him. They'd bonded. Fallen in love. And then Brian Thompson got in the way, because Rachel was sleeping with him too. So Marcus and Rachel killed Brian. Used my gun. Planted my fingerprints. Fabricated a witness statement. Framed me. All so they could be together without the complications of divorce or Brian's existence. David presented the evidence to the DA. Argued the charges should be dropped. Argued Rachel and Marcus should be investigated. The DA was skeptical, but agreed to look into it. Interviewed Marcus. Rachel. Checked their alibis, their phone records, and the case started falling apart. Marcus's witness statement had inconsistencies. He claimed he saw me at 10:45 p.m., but security footage from a nearby store showed him in a completely different part of the city at that time. He'd lied about following me, about seeing me, about everything. Rachel's alibi was therapy, but Dr. Reeves confirmed Rachel had canceled her appointment that Tuesday, wasn't in session, had no alibi for the time of the murder, and phone records showed Rachel and Marcus texting constantly, calling each other, meeting up, right up until Brian's murder. Then nothing. Radio silence, like they'd agreed to stop communicating. The DA arrested them both. Charged them with conspiracy to commit murder, first-degree murder, perjury, evidence tampering. My charges were dropped. I was free, vindicated, but not whole. The trial took a year. Rachel and Marcus both pleaded not guilty, claimed they were innocent, claimed I was framing them, but the evidence was overwhelming. Forensics found Rachel's DNA on the murder weapon. Small traces. She'd held it, fired it. Marcus's car was near Brian's apartment the night of the murder, caught on traffic cameras, and a neighbor testified she'd seen a couple matching Rachel and Marcus's description entering Brian's building that night. The jury found them both guilty. First-degree murder, conspiracy, life without parole. They were sentenced together, sent to different prisons, won't see each other again for the rest of their lives. Poetic justice? Maybe. But it doesn't erase what they did. What they tried to do. I'm 58 now. 3 years later. And I'm okay. Not great. Not whole. But surviving. I lost my marriage. My trust. My peace of mind. My sense of safety. I look over my shoulder constantly. Wonder if people think I got away with murder. Wonder if the stigma will ever fully go away. But I'm free. Alive. Not in prison for a crime I didn't commit. And Rachel and Marcus? They're together in spirit. Both serving life. Both destroyed by their own greed and lust and evil. Sometimes karma works. Sometimes the bad guys lose. This was one of those times. So baby, here's what I learned. Trust your gut, but verify everything, because sometimes your gut is right for the wrong reasons. Never hire someone without thoroughly vetting them. Check references. Check backgrounds. Check everything. People are capable of evil you can't imagine, even people who seem professional, trustworthy, safe. And if you're ever accused of something you didn't do, fight with everything you have. Hire the best lawyer. Investigate. Find evidence. Don't just accept your fate, because the truth matters. Justice matters. Fighting back matters. Thank you for sitting with me today, baby. This story still gives me nightmares, but I survived it. And if you're facing false accusations, know this: the truth will come out. Maybe not immediately, maybe not easily, but eventually. Keep fighting. Keep digging. Keep believing in your innocence. You are worthy. You are strong. You deserve justice. Let me tell you what happened after the trial. The parts nobody talks about when they discuss false accusations and vindication. The charges were dropped. I was declared innocent. The real killers were convicted. Justice was served. But my life was still destroyed. See, the arrest made the news. Local news. Online news. My name. My face. Local finance manager arrested for murder of colleague. The headlines spread. Got shared. Got archived. Forever linked to my name on Google. When the charges were dropped, that made the news too. But smaller news. Page 6 instead of page 1. A footnote instead of a headline. Murder charges dropped against Eve Mitchell. Wife and private investigator convicted instead. Better. But still there. Still searchable. Still the first thing anyone sees when they Google me. I tried to go back to work. Same company. Same position. But everything was different. Coworkers whispered. Avoided me in hallways. Stopped inviting me to lunch. Treated me like I was contaminated. Didn't she kill someone? I'd overhear. No, she was framed. It was her wife. But still, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? I lasted 3 months. Then, I quit. Or was encouraged to resign. Same thing, really. Found a new job eventually. Smaller company. Lower pay. Had to explain the gap in my resume. The arrest. The trial. The vindication. Most companies didn't call back after that. Who wants to hire someone with falsely accused of murder on their background? Finally found someone who believed me. Gave me a chance. I've been there 2 years now. It's fine. Not great. But fine. Rachel's family blamed me. Said I drove her to desperation. That my paranoia and jealousy pushed her into Marcus's arms. That if I'd been a better spouse, none of this would have happened. They visited her in prison. Supported her through appeals. Raised money for her legal defense. Stood by her even though she murdered someone and tried to frame me. Family loyalty is strange that way. Blind sometimes. Cruel sometimes. My own family was supportive. But also confused. Scared. Didn't know how to act around me. My sister asked once, Did you ever actually do anything? Like, threaten Brian? Make Rachel scared? No, I said. I hired a PI to see if she was cheating. That's it. I never threatened anyone. Never hurt anyone. Okay, she said. But I could tell she wasn't entirely convinced. Doubt lingers even after vindication. I went to therapy. Had to. Trauma from the arrest, the interrogation, the jail time, the trial, the knowledge that I came this close to spending life in prison for something I didn't do. My therapist said I had PTSD. From the false accusation, from the systemic failure, from the betrayal. You trusted the system to protect you, she said. And it almost destroyed you instead. That's traumatic. She was right. I don't trust easily anymore. Don't trust police. Don't trust lawyers. Don't trust investigators. Don't trust anyone whose job is supposed to be finding truth. Because I've seen how easily truth can be manufactured. Evidence planted. Witnesses bribed or manipulated. How quickly innocent until proven guilty becomes guilty until proven innocent. Marcus's ex-wife reached out to me a year after the conviction. Said she needed to talk. To apologize. To explain. We met for coffee. She looked tired. Older than her years. I should have warned you, she said. About Marcus. About what he was capable of. You knew? I asked. Not specifically, but I knew he was flexible with the truth. He'd fabricate evidence sometimes, plant things, manipulate situations to get the outcome his clients wanted. And you didn't report him? I tried, she said. Filed complaints with the licensing board, they investigated, found nothing. Marcus was good at covering his tracks. And he had connections, former cop, friends in the department, they protected him. So he'd done this before? Framed people? Not framed exactly, but manipulated cases, made evidence appear, made witnesses remember things that didn't happen, all to close cases. To get paid? And falling in love with a client's wife? Was that normal too? She laughed bitterly. Marcus didn't love anyone but himself. He loved what Rachel represented, money, status, an escape from his own failing business and reputation. He didn't love her. He used her. She used him too, I said. They deserved each other, she agreed. I'm just sorry you got caught in the middle. I found out more about Brian after his death. About who he really was. Turns out Rachel wasn't his only affair. He'd been sleeping with multiple women from work. Married women mostly. Some single. At least 6 that anyone knew about. His wife had suspected but never confirmed. After his death, when the affairs came out during the investigation, she was devastated. Humiliated. Angry. She blamed Rachel. Blamed me. Blamed everyone except Brian. My husband was murdered because of your wife's drama, she told me at one of the court hearings. If she hadn't been sleeping with him, he'd still be alive. My wife murdered him, I said. Not me, not his affairs, her. And her accomplice. You drove her to it, she said. With your paranoia, your accusations. Everyone wanted someone to blame. And I was an easy target. The spouse who'd hired a PI. Who'd been suspicious. Who'd been arrested. Even though I was innocent. Even though I was a victim too. The media wanted my story. Book deals. Podcast interviews. Documentary offers. The man who was almost convicted. One man's fight for justice. Framed. How a private investigator and a cheating wife nearly got away with murder. Betrayed and accused. The Eve Mitchell story. I said no to all of it. Didn't want to relive it. Didn't want my name forever associated with this story. Didn't want to profit from trauma. Some people called me noble. Others called me stupid. Said I could have made millions. But money wasn't worth my privacy. My peace. My ability to move on. Though moving on has been harder than I expected. I can't date. Can't even try. How do you explain to someone new that your ex-wife tried to frame you for murder? That you spent months thinking you'd die in prison? That you still have nightmares about interrogation rooms and life sentences? I tried once. Nice woman. Met her at a work function. We went on 2 dates. Things were going well. Then she Googled me. Found the articles, the arrest records, everything. 3rd date, she canceled. Sent a text, "I'm sorry, but this is too much baggage for me. I hope you understand." I understood. Can't blame her really. Who wants to date someone with my history? So I'm alone. Probably will be for a long time. Maybe forever. And I'm trying to be okay with that. Trying to build a life that doesn't require another person. That doesn't depend on trust or intimacy or vulnerability, because those things got me here. And I'm not sure I can survive them breaking again. Rachel writes to me sometimes. From prison. Letters I never asked for and don't want. She apologizes. Says she was scared. Said Marcus manipulated her. Said she didn't mean for it to go so far. She says she still loves me. That she's sorry. That if she could do it over, she'd choose differently. I don't believe her. Don't respond. Just add the letters to the box of evidence I keep. Just in case. Just in case she ever gets out. Gets an appeal approved. Comes after me again. Paranoia? Maybe. But justified paranoia. Earned paranoia. Marcus doesn't write. Hasn't contacted me once. Probably because he knows there's nothing he could say. No apology that would matter. No explanation that would make sense. He's serving life. In a maximum security prison. Where corrupt former cops aren't treated kindly by inmates who've been wronged by corrupt former cops. I don't wish him harm. But I don't wish him mercy either. He deserves exactly what he got. I joined a support group. For people who've been falsely accused. It's a surprisingly large group. There's Marcus. Different Marcus. Spent 8 years in prison for a rape he didn't commit. DNA evidence finally freed him. Lost his marriage. His career. His 30s. There's Jennifer. Accused of child abuse by her ex-husband during a custody battle. Charges eventually dropped. But she lost custody anyway. Hasn't seen her kids in 5 years. There's David. Accused of embezzlement at work. Turns out his boss was the one stealing and framed him. Spent 2 years fighting it. Finally proven innocent. But his reputation was destroyed. All of us carrying the weight of accusations that weren't true. All of us fighting to rebuild lives that were demolished by lies. We meet monthly. Share stories. Strategies. Encouragement. It helps, knowing I'm not alone. That false accusation isn't rare. That the system fails people constantly. It also terrifies me. Because if it happens this often, if the system is this broken, how many people are in prison right now for things they didn't do? How many didn't have the resources I had? The lawyer? The investigator? The evidence? The luck? How many are serving life sentences for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, with the wrong person pointing a finger? So baby, let me tell you what I've really learned from all this. The justice system is flawed. Deeply, fundamentally flawed. It's supposed to protect the innocent and punish the guilty. But sometimes it does the opposite. False accusations destroy lives. Even when you're vindicated. Even when you're proven innocent, the stain remains. Trust is a weapon. And in the wrong hands, it can kill you. Literally. Or destroy you so thoroughly you wish it had. If you're ever falsely accused, you need 3 things: money, evidence, and luck. Without all 3, you're probably going to lose. That's not fair. But it's true. And never, ever trust that someone's professional reputation means they're ethical. Marcus was a respected PI. 20 years experience. Decorated former cop. And he was a liar. A manipulator. A criminal. Credentials don't equal character. Success doesn't equal integrity. And sometimes, the people paid to find truth are the ones hiding it. I'm 58 years old now. 3 years post-arrest. 3 years post-vindication. 3 years into rebuilding. And I'm surviving. Not thriving. Not happy. But surviving. And some days, that's enough. I have a job. An apartment. Stability. Safety. No one trying to frame me for murder anymore. Low bar? Maybe. But given where I was 3 years ago, it's a miracle. I thought I'd spend my life in prison for a crime I didn't commit. Thought I'd die there. Old. Forgotten. Labeled a murderer forever. Instead, I'm free. Vindicated. Alive. Building a small, quiet life that's entirely mine. It's not the life I planned. Not the life I wanted. But it's the life I have. And I'm learning to be grateful for it. Even when it's hard. Even when the nightmares come. Even when I see my name in old articles and feel that spike of terror all over again. I survived. I'm here. I'm free. And that's worth everything. Thank you for sitting with me today, baby. For listening to this dark, twisted story. For holding space for my anger and fear and hard-won survival. If you're facing false accusations, remember this. Fight. With everything you have. Don't give up. Don't accept guilt you don't deserve. Don't let them break you. Hire the best lawyer you can afford. Find evidence. Investigate. Build your case. Trust that truth exists even when it's buried. And know that vindication, when it comes, won't erase the damage. But it will give you your life back. And that's worth fighting for. You are innocent until proven guilty. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Not cops. Not prosecutors. Not even yourself. Hold on to your truth. Fight for your freedom. Survive. Because survival is victory. And freedom is everything. God bless you, honey. This is Eve. Falsely accused. Vindicated. Surviving. Fighting. Free. And I'll see you next time. Wait. There's more I need to tell you. Something that happened just 6 months ago that changed everything again. I got a call from Detective Harris, the same one who'd interrogated me, arrested me, thought I was guilty. Mr. Mitchell, he said, I need to talk to you. It's important. About what? I asked, wary, scared, old fears rising. About your case. New evidence has come to light. My heart stopped. What kind of evidence? Can you come to the station? I'd rather discuss this in person. I almost said no. Almost hung up. Didn't want to go back to that place. That interrogation room. Those memories. But I went. Because I needed to know. Detective Harris met me in his office this time. Not an interrogation room. A small gesture. But it mattered. Thank you for coming, he said. I know this place has bad associations for you. What's this about? I asked. He pulled out a file. Thick. Full of papers. Photos. Evidence. After Rachel and Marcus were convicted, we kept investigating. Standard procedure. Making sure we had everything. Making sure there weren't other victims. Other cases. And we found something. Something that changes the timeline. Changes everything we thought we knew about your case. He handed me a photo. Security footage. Time-stamped. Dated the night of Brian's murder. It showed me, walking into my building, my apartment building. At 10:30 p.m. That's you, Harris said. Entering your building 30 minutes before the estimated time of death. 15 minutes before Marcus claimed he saw you at Brian's building? I told you I was home, I said. You didn't believe me. We didn't have proof, he said. But we do now. This footage was from a different camera, one we didn't check initially. One of my officers found it 6 months ago while reviewing the case. 6 months ago? I said. I was already vindicated 6 months ago. Why are you showing me this now? Because it proves something more than your innocence, Harris said. It proves Marcus committed perjury, intentionally lied under oath, which we knew. But this is ironclad proof, timeline proof, camera proof. So what does that mean? It means we're reopening parts of the investigation, looking into Marcus's other cases, other witnesses he provided, other people he might have framed or manipulated. My stomach turned. How many other cases? He worked as a PI for 20 years, testified in dozens of trials. We're reviewing all of them, looking for irregularities, false testimony, planted evidence. How many people might be in prison because of him? Harris looked uncomfortable. We don't know yet. Could be none. Could be dozens. We're investigating. Jesus, I whispered. There's more, Harris said. We found communications between Marcus and several local attorneys. Emails, text messages, suggesting he was paid to fabricate evidence, paid to provide false testimony, paid to frame people. He was corrupt, I said. We knew that, but we didn't know how deep it went, how long it had been going on, how many people were involved. Who else? 3 defense attorneys, 2 prosecutors, 1 judge, all under investigation now, all potentially part of a conspiracy to manipulate court outcomes. I felt sick. The whole system is rotten. Parts of it, Harris agreed. Not all, but parts. And we're working to fix it, to identify victims, to overturn wrongful convictions, to hold everyone accountable. That doesn't bring back time, I said. Doesn't give people back their lives. No, he said. It doesn't. And I'm sorry, truly sorry, for my part in this, for arresting you, for not believing you, for not investigating thoroughly enough. It was the first time anyone in the system had apologized to me. The first time anyone had admitted fault. Thank you, I said. Not because the apology fixed anything, but because it mattered? A little. The corruption scandal exploded in the news. Federal investigation, grand juries, indictments, 3 lawyers disbarred, 2 prosecutors fired and charged, 1 judge impeached and arrested. And Marcus? Additional charges. Conspiracy, racketeering, fraud, perjury in multiple cases. His sentence extended. Life without parole plus 150 years. Symbolic, but satisfying. Rachel got caught up in it too. Investigators found she'd paid Marcus $50,000 beyond what I'd paid him. Paid him to help her, to frame me, to create evidence. Additional charges for her too. Conspiracy, bribery, witness tampering. Her sentence extended. Life without parole plus 75 years. They'll die in prison. Both of them. Separately. Alone. With decades of additional punishment for what they did to me and countless others. 19 people had their convictions overturned because of Marcus's false testimony. 19 people who spent years in prison for crimes they didn't commit, or were convicted on fabricated evidence. Some had been in prison for over a decade. Lost marriages, missed their children growing up. Lost jobs, lost everything. The state offered compensation, financial restitution, expungement of records, apologies. But money doesn't give back time. Apologies don't undo trauma. The system failed them. And now it was trying to make amends with settlements and press conferences. I met some of them. The exonerated. We formed our own support group, separate from the general false accusation group, because we shared something specific. We'd all been victimized by the same corrupt investigator. There was Carlos, spent 12 years in prison for armed robbery he didn't commit. Marcus planted a gun with his fingerprints. Testified he'd seen Carlos at the scene. All lies. There was Denise, convicted of fraud based on financial records Marcus claimed he'd obtained legally. Turns out he'd fabricated them. She spent 8 years in prison. There was James, child abuse charges, based on testimony from a witness Marcus coached to lie. 6 years in prison. Lost custody of his kids permanently, even after being exonerated. 19 stories. 19 shattered lives. All because one corrupt man decided truth was negotiable. The city paid out $47 million in settlements. To the 19 exonerated prisoners. To me. To Marcus's ex-wife who'd tried to blow the whistle years ago, and was ignored. I got $2 million. For the months I spent in jail before bail. For the year of trial. for the destruction of my career and reputation, for the trauma. $2 million. Sounds like a lot. But divided by the 3 years of hell I've been through? Not so much. I donated half of it to legal aid organizations, to innocence projects, to groups fighting wrongful convictions, kept the other half, put it in investments. Quit my job, decided to do something meaningful with what time I have left. I work for an innocence project now, help investigate cases of potential wrongful conviction, interview witnesses, review evidence, look for the cracks, the lies, the corruption. I'm good at it. Because I lived it. I know what to look for, know what questions to ask, know how to spot false testimony and planted evidence. We've helped exonerate 3 people in the past year. 3 people who spent decades in prison for crimes they didn't commit. It's hard work. Heartbreaking work. Most cases we investigate don't result in exoneration. The evidence is too thin. The time is too long. The system too resistant to admitting mistakes. But the 3 we freed? Worth it. Worth all the cases we can't solve. Worth all the frustration and setbacks. Because freedom matters. Truth matters. Justice matters. Even when it comes late. Even when it comes with scars. Even when it can't undo the damage. It still matters. So baby, here's my absolute final truth. The system is broken, not irredeemably, not hopelessly, but broken enough that innocent people suffer, guilty people walk free, and corruption thrives in the cracks. If you're ever caught in that system, you need resources, money, lawyers, time, luck. And even with all that, you might not win. But you fight anyway. Because the alternative is accepting injustice. And that's not acceptable. False accusations destroy lives. But they don't have to destroy you. You can survive. Rebuild. Find purpose in the pain. I did. Barely. With help. With time. With resources most people don't have. And I'm still here. Still fighting. Still believing that justice, however imperfect, is worth pursuing. And if you're someone who thinks false accusations are rare, who thinks where there's smoke there's fire? Who thinks the system usually gets it right? You're wrong. Dangerously wrong. And your ignorance helps perpetuate the problem. Innocent people are convicted every day because of corrupt investigators, overzealous prosecutors, lazy defense attorneys, biased judges, manipulated evidence, false testimony, system failures at every level. And once you're in the system, getting out is almost impossible. Even when you're innocent. Even when the evidence is there. Even when you're right. The system protects itself, not you. And unless you have resources and luck and persistence, the system will chew you up and spit you out and never apologize. I know. Because it almost happened to me. And only luck and money and a good lawyer saved me. I'm 58 years old. 3 years post-arrest. 2 years post-complete vindication. 1 year into meaningful work. And I'm finally okay. Not healed. Not whole. But okay. I sleep better now. The nightmares are less frequent. The paranoia is manageable. The trauma is processed enough that I can function. I have purpose. Helping others who've been where I was. Fighting the corruption that nearly destroyed me. Making sure Marcus's legacy is exposure and punishment, not secret success. I have peace. Small. Fragile. But real. Built on truth and justice and survival. And I have hope. That the system can be fixed. That corruption can be rooted out. That innocent people can be freed. That justice, however delayed, can prevail. It's not the life I planned, not the life I wanted. But it's a life worth living. A life with meaning. A life that matters. And that's enough. Thank you for sitting with me today, baby. For hearing my full story. Every painful, twisted, triumphant piece of it. If you take nothing else from this, remember, the truth matters. Justice matters. Fighting back matters. Never accept injustice quietly. Never let corruption win without resistance. Never stop believing that you deserve truth and fairness and freedom. The system will fail you. People will betray you. Evil will sometimes masquerade as authority. But you can survive. You can fight. You can win, not always, not easily, but possibly, and possibility is enough to keep fighting. You are worthy. You are innocent until proven guilty. You deserve justice. Don't let anyone take that from you. God bless you, honey. This is Eve. Falsely accused, vindicated, surviving, thriving, free, fighting for others. And I'll see you next time.